Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Unfortunately, my views are always minority views. I will talk on the soft aspect of the problem. If you see the COVID pandemic, it has destroyed the entire social capital that the people had. There are, just to put my discussion in perspective, there are three kinds of social capital. One is bonding social capital. That is the relationship between persons who have similar interests. Then we have bridging social capital, which is relationship between individuals with varied interests. And then we have linking social capital, which is relationship amongst people who are in different tiers in hierarchical situation. Now, if you see the impact of COVID, what I see, it has destroyed all three forms of social capital. It has destroyed bonding social capital because everybody is a suspect. Everybody is a carrier. The fear-mongering that has gone on has made it very difficult for people to stay together. So bonding social capital has been damaged. Similarly, bridging social capital. The social capital amongst the caregivers, social capital amongst doctors, social capital along police forces, bonding social capital may be there, but in some weak sense. But there is no connection between citizens groups and these groups like police force, caregivers, medical staff. So that bridging social capital is very much missing. As a result, in many cases it has been found that when a COVID patient arrives at a hospital, he is not admitted. He's turned away. So that is, the linking social capital is also missing. Linking social capital is a link between hierarchy. Because nobody trusts anybody, therefore people who are higher up also don't trust people or groups who are lower up. But this has led to serious problems. First, I must also emphasize, it has hit certain groups very seriously. First, it has hit the poor, those people who work in the informal sector. It has hit the elderly, who have very little access to resources. Third, it has hit those who suffer from intrafamilial distribution of power. Somebody mentioned about that. So as a result, what has happened is bonding social capital, which gave me some health insurance, where my friends and my neighbors helped me with my health issues, is no longer there. Bonding and bridging social capital, which had some role or which was available to me to tackle my food security, is no longer there. Nobody trusts me, so I have no access to anyone. In traditional societies like India, in rural areas, social capital is critical for collection of drinking water. And I dare say, social capital is very important for defecation. It's not that straight when we look at this situation. So what had happened is, this has led to a lot of traumatic poverty. People are traumatized and they suffer from traumatic poverty. A lot of people are suffering from interstitial poverty. That means there are wealthy people around or non-poor people around, and within that circle, there are people who are poor. And therefore, they're invisible. Now, the problem is that the state cannot do everything. Particularly for a country like India, with how many millions people you all know, social capital plays a very critical role. The first step, by the way, social capital, the destruction of bonding and bridging social capital has also led to a fall in accessing education. I send my child to a school because I trust the teacher. I no longer trust the teacher because I suspect she might infect my child. So that part of the story is also the health is affected, the level of poverty is affected, the education level is affected. A lot of steps have been taken by the government in terms of allocation of resources for revival of small-scale industries, but or revival of farmers. But there is very little attention on restoring social capital. And therefore, for a long time, our social development will be impaired unless social capital is repaired. Now, on a very quick note, because there are other speakers as well, there are 4 things that the government must do, or should do, in a situation like India. First is universal basic income, whether you like it or not. For a long, long time, millions of people, there are 30% of India's population are poor. According to some estimate, 80% of the labor force is in the informal sector who have lost their jobs. That universal, basic universal income is very critical. Second, activate the traditional institutions that we had, which have fallen into disrepair and disrepute. What are these? We had sacred groves, which is a very important source of food. Second, we need to activate the Van Panchayats. They were local level traditional institutions which protected the forest. Because, mind you, for the poor 35% of the people who live in semi-arid and arid parts of India, 35% of the food comes from common property resources, of which forest is very critical. Third, you reactivate your Pani Panchayats. There will be a great stress on water availability, both for agriculture and for drinking. The need to activate local level institutions called Pani Panchayat. Fourth one, which we need to do very urgently, is to activate the Nyaya Panchayats, that the local level institutions dispense with justice. If I am wrong, I can't travel to my district headquarters to a civil court to fight my case or to get my grievance redressed, because there aren't transportation, and traveling itself can increase the risk of infection, and there is no guarantee that the courts would be functioning when I arrived because of the COVID. So these four traditional institutions, I repeat, the Van Panchayats, the Pani Panchayats, the Nyaya Panchayats, and the sacred groves should be revived early, and they are not expensive. They can be done easily. The final thing that we need to do is to embark on a massive campaign against the fear psychosis. COVID is a disease. Anybody can have it and people are cured. Many people are cured without medical intervention. But that is not the case. As a result, in many cases, a patient of COVID is ostracized, is isolated. He's put into even greater stress. As Ms. Chen spoke about the stress of people who commit suicide and all, this is a huge stress. The entire family is involved. So these are some important things that we need to do. I will be happy to answer any questions. Thank you very much for having me on the panel. Unfortunately, I have to leave for another panel, so I couldn't spend more time with you. Thank you very much.